Hi everyone, Tom here, Jampot. I rerolled a third selection that I did not have. Been playing a fair bit of Zagreus. Kind of know what's up with this character. Let's do Beanstalk. Uh, I think this captain is pretty strong. Nothing incredible or anything like that, but just like this is a really easy way to get a lot of mid-game stats on the board. Um, Makes it pretty easy to not fall behind as long as you pick up like a couple nesting scrub balls or whatever. Um, it, I'm using that not because that's a strong like a strong card, but because like characters that are pretty innocuous that you might like already take, just work and that's fine. You kind of don't have to do anything super nutso, although you will be like prioritizing animals more than a conventional strategy might. And then, having slot bonuses is usually pretty flexible. You can go into almost anywhere from there, although like you did have to invest resources into it, so you're going to be closing some doors as well. Uh, I think that Okay, so I was trying out this little candy splash because, I love Chubby Cheap so much. I think that might be like getting a little too cute with our late game, but I do like Daedalus. And Daedalus, Chubby Cheap are great together. Uh, I still don't really know what I'm doing with this hunt package. Still not sure about Keep. In theory, it makes sense because it's a summon. Summons like slot bonuses, and then it scales our candy for all this. But I found this unit to be awfully slow. Like Candy Cane Crook is obviously super unreliable, but like this is a great time to be sweetening your candy by once a turn, once a fight. This turn, sweetening your candy once is not so impactful. So, like, should you be doing something that has more board presence? Uh, I guess at the end of the day, I don't really have a lot of cards here to work with. Pied Piper makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Maybe a little more than Mecha Man. Mecha Man's a summon. That's good. If it hunts it, procs our thing. I think I'm okay with this. I think these are all cards that like I could see clicking on and being like, yeah, this makes sense a little, except maybe Keep, but we'll find out about that. Um, the other thing is this might be way too light of a candy splash. We might need to like either scrap it or support it more. We'll find out pretty soon. Daughter of Athena, I don't. So Mecha Man and um, Puss in Boots kind of work with our ability, and they are heroes. So is Baby Bear. So that makes some amount of sense to me. Despicable Me kind of works with Puss in Boots and Candy Cane Crook, so that's also up for consideration and maybe a little bit better. I just at the end of the day, like if I don't get this procced really, really quickly, I'd much rather have like a 3-2 or a 5-2 than a 1-3. Here, I guess I'll take. We have nothing to enable like any of these. This is an animal for later potentially. Rose is like not a priority. Hopefully we can get a couple step ups, but having more is good. Is having a 1-3 or a... I'm going to take this Laser Shark. I see a world in which this matters. Yeah, I mean, clumsy fight, awkward positioning, right? We have this range character in second. It doesn't make a ton of sense. But, ooh. My instinct is just to take this, give it a few stats. But maybe we should just start buffing our thing. Like this kind of accomplishes the same thing, and we're super not interested in like getting this gold. It's just like good enough for now. Okay, so this positioning again is kind of a mess, right? Like I shouldn't have bought this Laser Shark maybe, but we'll find out. My thinking was that if I get a couple of like the animal things going, it's just nice to have a ranged character, but it is really bad right now. And it's also kind of like this doesn't have to attack again. A 3-2 is like good enough for while we need it, but 5-2 is better, Is this thing attacking first really going to make a difference? I don't think so. Maybe I even do it like this, because I would really like this to get the hunt off. I mean, yeah, like, what can you do? So we're down, I think, uh, more than I would like, I guess, at this stage. Now we're certainly too late for Daughter of Athena. Let's just grab this Navi. I know that there was a presence of Gaia there, but I think we want to be like spending our resources kind of building up this kind of thing, like I guess I don't really see that being the path forward. I think it would be good enough for a turn or two, and then afterwards we kind of have wasted that. Again, this laser shark looking absolutely abysmal. Like, I feel like this positioning makes the most sense as far as like having two pirates that are in good attacking positions, getting the Despicable Me buff, and then this laser shark is just like a 1/1 in slot 2. But I mean, it certainly could have gone worse. It seems pretty clear that this is the pick to me. And here's where like splashing candy is like interesting, right? Because like don't need any of this. Although this Puss in Boots is really dorky, isn't it? I should probably go off of it. Fey buffs are not anything that we care about. I say as I'm about to pick a Fey, I'm pretty sure. Although, Snowball is just big, and that's not nothing. It's gonna get bigger. I guess I'm kind of tempted to put like to keep the Puss in Boots in here because I think like a 5 attack is not super likely to hunt in the front, but like has some reasonable chance to hunt in this slot. But a 3/1 is like, and we're getting to the point where like a 3/1 and a 4/4 are like not actually that different, whereas in the first couple turns they're worlds apart. I think this is okay. I think we have this Despicable Me. We're going to get like our use out of it while it's here, but we're not going to try and like take pirates more aggressively because we have it. I think that time has gone. The thing is, I don't really think I'm missing anything by like not having this kind of scaling because investing even further in that kind of thing seems really bad. The opportunity cost is this candy thing, but I think we have one, two, three, four characters that we're trying to replace, right? Like I think we should start on that ASAP. This is a much better laser shark. I think if this Navi gets attacked, which is quite likely, I would rather have it than the Puss in Boots, so do that. I mean, a 9/9 ranged is legit. Okay, well, I guess I'm pretty happy that I picked up that laser shark earlier because it didn't cost us too much. Elven Tools is nice with this Mecha Man, and I think we are kind of interested in that in general. Nice, cute. Rage Mage. I think we have, again, like better ways to be. It's also like we don't have to just be doing this, although I think I've played this captain 3 times, maybe just twice, and both of those times are every time that I've played it, I've gotten a little lance going, and it just kind of trivialized. Like this was just at like 11/11 or 12/12, and that was nice. Like it was great. Not at this stage of the game, but not so far from it either. And oh, the snowball didn't even die, did it? That's kind of funny. I'm not going to be too cute about saving this Navi, I think. But I would like to golden it. Getting an extra heart is nice. And of course, it's proccing this, which is minor but impactful. Giving tree. I'm going to be greedier and hope that we get a bigger giving tree sometime. Nameless one is a pretty nice upgrade to the snowball if we just want like a stat meatball. Because we're not going to keep this long enough that I care. Like this has slightly better stats right now. And I still don't regret that pick. Like, yes, we could have had like an extra plus 0/1 on this if we'd picked up Peter Pan, but I just don't think that that's something that I should have been playing around. This is kind of nice with Mecha Man. Am I really gonna like go anywhere with this, or is it just gonna sit on my board for a few turns, kind of being a meatball? I think I'm gonna take Jill Sunshine here, even though it seems a little bit odd. It does mean that this is less likely to hunt, because this is a pretty good hunting slot, and I'm not gonna move this laser shark for at least a turn. I'm kind of imagining like my opponent presents me with this board. Which one am I more likely to like have trouble with? kind of think here, actually. Ranged is an ability. Davy Jones kind of interesting again with this. Like, like these numbers are mattering less and less, but it does still add up to have like your tempo picks, or sorry, your like value picks later, your kind of scaling units that have weak starting stats to just not be quite so bad to start with. And of course, it's like it synergizes with like in theory when you have like a bunch of slot bonuses and then you have a bunch of uh like slightly scaled things, it just makes pivoting so much easier in theory. But we like have no slot bonuses, right? Like I would say that this is not really like we're not following the game plan exactly. Uh, an 11-8 versus an 8-8, I'll still take, that's not big enough. Okay, well, finally there's the mama bear with like no animals. I think it's a little late for Mr. Fox. Shoemaker's Elves has not got a big enough buff for us to care about it. Yeah, I think it's okay for us to go off of the Sugar Plum Fairy now. So the question is, where do we want... I think I'm okay with this, and part of that is just, again, I'm not like, it's not important that this nameless one hunts. I'm looking at Keep here with, no candy, of course. It does synergize with Elven Tools for whatever that's worth. And then it could start to get us our candy going with like a relatively low cost, I think. Like we have a couple replaceable units here, right? The other thing is like, is it, like look at these numbers. Should we just be moving off of this Mama Bear? Like we've been doing okay in fights, but we're at a point where we could easily start to just completely get crushed. 2119. I mean, this is a lot weaker. But I think at the end of the day, like I care about the slot bonuses and I care about the scaling enough. 11-8 versus 21-19. This is still clearly better. Like with between the Elven tools, like having been scaling for a little bit, it can hit the same thing. So I could take White Whale here, and that would be proccing this as well. I don't think we need to reroll a new shop. I'm okay with either of these, I think. I just don't know about this keep. So this is going to summon a 7-2, and then it's going to sweeten my candy. I like that. Let's give it a shot. Baby Bear kind of double proc, like gets us a extra +1/+1 in our shop per turn, but I think it's quite late for that. It just weakens our board so much. The only thing I could consider is like just being like, okay, we don't need this laser shark anymore. Like it's kind of done its thing. I think we're ship shape now if Mega Man. Oh, not quite, because like we'd have to do something like this, which maybe means that I could. Well, no, that doesn't make sense because the whole point is to have more animals, I guess. Well, no, because it's not like this gives +3/+3 with 3 animals. It gives +1/+1 whenever each one of these procs. I guess at the end of the day, I wanted this on turn 3. This is 4 turns later. Um, and having +9/+9 is not compelling enough for me to prioritize it. Whereas like, but I don't really know what spells I would be hitting other than like, spells that give me more shops. This is the biggest stats, bigger than anything on my team. Be a 24/24 as well. But I think I can. I think in fact I'd have to be greedy for a little bit because like somehow like our tempo is doing okay, and I mean it's doing okay partially because we have um, this captain that has like an early and mid game ability, right? But we have nothing going on as far as late game yet. So I think with that in mind, I'm just gonna take a two-headed wizard and hope that I can find a Lost in the Woods or something like that to use it on. Uh, And then this keep is in a spot. This is like slightly more likely to slay from here, to hunt from here. But that's okay. I don't need that as much as I need just like having a big attack here. hmm That was okay. I mean, But as you can see, like that board had a lot more room for growth than ours do. Ours does. Uh, Sugar Plum Berry is kind of cute, but like, so we're pretty far from Boon Willow actually going off. Like this is cute, but like none of our numbers are big enough that we could suddenly start to go enormous with this. So obviously, I love this unit. I overvalue it, and it synergizes with this. I just don't think it makes any sense whatsoever right now. I think I'm going to go for Sugar Plum Fairy. We've started to get our candy going. It seems like a much more efficient way to scale um, our stuff, I guess, in general. Davy Jones versus Mama Bear. I'll go for. I'll leave Mama Bear in for another turn. Abracadabra X2. Uh, I guess at the end of the day, my spells are pretty weak, so I shouldn't be taking this when I kind of think the only reason to take a spell is if I hit something like super high impact. Over the Rainbow would be nice. We have enough shot buffs for it to be good. Every once in a while, when I'm just like kind of in this position where I'm like, where do I go from here? Like I'm alive but very weak. I kind of sometimes I'm like tempted to take Mysterious Egg and just go for a secret rare, like just assuming that like I have plenty of room to what am I doing with a Mecha Man at this level? I guess no, that's a bad example because Mecha Man is just kind of innately scales. Um, but like a 9/9 Laser Shark or this. I guess in 2 turns, would I get rid of a slot to pick up a Karma Chameleon that I knew was going to hit? It's looking like I would, right? Because I lose one fight, two fight, then I really need something strong. Hopefully, I just lose one fight and then uh, half a heart as well, or just push. Laser Shark is a 13/13 ranged. I just don't think that those stats are real at this point in the game. And I think we're just kind of gonna. That's great, but so is this goodie bag actually. Again, a unit that or a character that I possibly overvalue, but I think it makes sense here and is quite strong and has like robust enough starting stats. Like, what is this summoning? This is summoning a. I wish that when you looked at the Cookie Golem, it showed its current stats, by the way. I should make a little list of like, I wish that things. Because developing a video game is really easy, and they just need to they need to have more work. Uh, so yeah, it's really slow. This is way better. Or I could just get rid of this, which seems like it is the pick. Although our candy is scaling now, it's kind of odd, but I would like to not get totally clobbered, right? Nice. I mean, that was a pretty strong board, but our board got a lot stronger, like, once we picked this up. So, I mean, the Jabberwocky is instantly bigger than this, right? And then it's going to outscale pretty quickly just as, like, again, a big guy for a few turns. Stinky, always fantastic, just kind of utility unit. What would I go off of here? I think maybe Mecha Man because we already have a goodie bag, so like it's starting to run out of high rolls. Although we still haven't hit a ship shape, which is kind of obnoxious. Again, I'm just wondering if I'm deranged for trying to keep this Keeban. Both of these are real options. I guess Stinky is a little bit more likely to win me like the fights, I think, than Jabberwocky. I mean, I could also just put Jabberwocky here, and then it's just like based off of what we've been looking at, it's kind of matched the big things, but presumably they've gotten bigger since then, right? And then this we're not keeping it around on the team, and I don't know that it's going to actually get us through the fight, so we shouldn't take it. It's just big. But Mecha Man summons. Summons are what we're doing here. We're having the mysterious egg problem, but on turn 9 instead of on turn 5 or something. Uh, where, like it's very obviously the thing to replace, even though it's not that much like worse than all of these, but it's like a lot worse also. Um, I'm gonna do this. I very well could regret it. I think this is enough better. Obviously, I would love for it to get the hunt off, but who knows? Um, so, this is better if Kraken hits first and hunts, and then this gets better stats, and then, yeah, okay. I think we kind of have to play a little bit aggressively here. Again, fight RNG happens. I don't think that there's much. Oh man. Okay, well, I guess I do wish that like either we. I think that this. I'm pretty sure this had 21 attack at the time. It seems to me that that was a little bit unlucky, but maybe I'm mistaken. Did I get a second two-headed wizard at some point? Why is this an X2? Because I. Hmm. Or maybe I saw a pumpkin spice latte and I took the goodie bag instead because I was like, oh, this is actually very good. Do I want two random legendaries? I think I do. I think it's better than like taking Conan and like dorking around. Although, man, I really wish that Kraken had hit. That was really unfortunate. Okay, keep. I'm over it. I don't think we can. Yes, okay. So, the thing is, I would really like to keep this Oberon in for like one, maybe two turns to get like a chance that this hunts. Oh, yeah, mysterious egg. What was I thinking? I mean, I was thinking that there was nothing else particularly exciting in that shop and that I could see a reason to take this. And so far, it's kind of working with the plan that I'm, kind of had in mind. We could just go off of Stinky for a turn because it's not like it's an important thing. I think something like Daedalus is how we could maybe come back. But yeah, our numbers are just like not impressive enough, right? Like last time we had the 2 in 3 chance if we hit, first of hunting. And then this time we're so much further from it. And this is exactly what I was afraid of. We take, we go down to 1 just as this hits. If it doesn't hit something impressive, we're in trouble. It didn't really, because like we kind of had like dorky supports solved. I mean, I'll do this over frontline over on, but uh, okay. Starburst is very weak. I don't think that's up for. I'm just like, should we I can't think of a good reason not to take this Navi and just try and use it to get an extra placement, but I'm wondering if like there's a way for us to get first. I just think we're a little too behind. I don't see a good way to make these slots like really huge. And snapping Hydra is too slow. We're again like a couple turns late for that. uh, Again, a little late, but it is good with little lands. I kind of want to just keep summons in front, do something like this. But then that can't be right, right? Like we want this Daedalus summoning to, maybe we'll do something like this for now. And then this is summoning, or this is buffing 2 slots that are going to get some bonuses. Keep is like not that important. It's a little bit weird to be getting these like buffs on it. But I think that, the whole point of this was to make it work, right? Like, okay, plus 12 each fight is like kind of the average of what let's say like a Rat King might do, in my opinion. And that's with like a really bad candy score. So I don't really mind having this chubby cheap. I think it still kind of makes sense. There's a Goldilocks, which is obviously very exciting. Plus 40 seems still quite relevant. That's a huge buff to this. I wonder if we do something like this. for now. Okay. Um, so, first of all, this is just bigger and it's a summon, so it has to be better, which again kind of makes me rethink like what was I saying, the thing about the chubby cheap, like I guess we don't know that we're gonna find a Miss Muffet and having some redundancy there is nice, and also if we could commit more it could be good. But I think at the end of the day we should decide whether or not we're committing to candy. Um, I don't think that this splash is like I think you can do things with it, but it certainly doesn't seem like it's getting to the numbers that you need. Okay. Yet again, we're in this like kind of awkward spot where we want this dataless like buffs on our summons, but our summons aren't all working the way that we want them to. Also, Goldilocks and Miss Muffet don't combine as well as Chubby Cheap and Miss Muffet, now that I'm thinking about it. I think we can go off of this Nanny McFay pretty soon. Yeah, that was a thing, like it did matter. Okay, it's gotta be this double double. So, I mean, this is our biggest slot bonus. That's where it's getting cast. Where do we want the second one to land? Here makes a lot of sense. Down here has some logic to it, but I don't think we have the luxury of trying to protect our data list. I think we need some power. Is that true? I think Hannibal is still in here, and one of the easiest ways to lose is like big summons in front, your thing dies in the back. Yeah, actually, I think there's an argument for that. So the reason for that is like Hannibal's going to summon a lot, so the fights are going to go a little bit longer. Sometimes you have this situation where like your guys are giant um, in the front, and that actually like kills their whole, like between them being quite large and summoning, um, your fifth slot doesn't actually like have to interact with the game. Uh, so this triples it. I mean, it sucks to miss out on a potential legendary treasure, but I mean, the best one for us, I think, would be, I guess the most flavorful would be like Sword of Maximus, but I actually think it would be quite good. Um, I mean, what we really want is a Widow's Web. I think we need it. So, in retrospect, given like the opponents that we're fighting, we're not fighting anyone whose strategy, or that I see at least. I should, I'm not sure about that actually. But, oh, that's cute. This is actually quite a bit bigger just because like the slot buffs have added up. What's it at right now? Yeah, there's our ship shape. Cherry on top, so it would be plus 21 worth of like total stats. Um, could go to either one of these backline slots. I think let's just look for another shop. Okay, we missed, but that's okay. Uh, we don't have any reason to think that we'll be able to like nudge up a legendary treasure to a secret rare treasure. So I don't think Bahamut is like any better than any of these. I guess because it's a legendary and like we are still looking for a couple legendary slots. I'm not actually sure how that works in the pool. Like if it's like okay, this shop had like a certain number of legendaries, certain number of things, so it's more important to get those. But okay, last time I didn't do it. This time I think I will because I'm not that excited by any of these and this does anything. We have two hearts though. Maybe that's foolish. Sweetening our candy is kind of not what we're about. And I'm almost certain that this does reduce the frequency of standard like spells appearing, right? Like it must, right? So like we're cheating ourselves out of double doubles, which is really important. I wonder also there's some point where we should probably consider just doing this. And this is probably the point. I'm gonna just give my Daedalus a tiny bit more safety. Okay, yeah. So I thought there was somebody doing something big. Um, yeah, that's too bad. I mean, it's really unfortunate that we lost the full heart there, but I mean, unfortunate is maybe not the right term, right? Because like we got what we deserved at the end of the day. Okay, Nanny McFay, goodbye. Yeah, I mean, this actually looks really good. If we don't die this turn, we get a goodie bag on a truly enormous slot, and this slot gets a lot bigger too, which is not irrelevant at all. Oh no. Okay. Uh, yeah, I think they have a doubling cube. That's and this and Helica. So presumably, if they didn't just like win their round. Oh, hold on. You love to see it. Okay. So if they're done with their game and they're just like scaling on board, we're in great shape. But that is optimistic. This is a legendary treasure and like an acceptable unit at this point in the game. This goodie bag thankfully no longer strictly needs this. Oh no, it kind of does. Is this not going to die and then the Daedalus is going to die if we put it here? Because that gets so much weaker. I wonder if we need to... No, that we just have to hope. So Oberon doesn't really do much, but like it's a legendary treasure that does a little bit. I think let's give it a shot. Okay. Uh, I guess all of these, the one that I would most like to golden is there. I guess it technically uses the stats best too. Miss Muffet summons. We want her getting buffed by Daedalus. I think unless we lose our Daedalus before our goodie bag, this thing's also giant because of how that worked out. Great. Okay. Nice. All right. I did not think that this was going to be a win. So a couple things happened that I think worked out pretty well. First of all, uh, we got a couple Daedaluses, like, and anything that says, double, triple is really dangerous. The second thing that I think worked was that we had a pretty good sense of where we were as far as relative strength for much of the game. So I think we got to like choose when to invest and when to double down pretty well. Like, sorry, no, when to invest and when to like just like commit to onboard presence. I think we did a pretty good job of that. And then we saved our giving tree until later. And then it was, that's what got us out of this. Although, frankly, a double double would have been better tempo. Um, so I'm just before this video ends, and I'm gonna go quickly to uh oh, it's not Beanstalk, comma the. It's just Beanstalk or the Beanstalk. And I'm gonna edit this. Oops. And I'm gonna take out the candy. I don't think it was worth it. Like this was basically just like an acceptable summon. Chubby Cheap was nice. It was good to have another thing like Miss Muffet was really impressive actually. I have been wondering what this can do, and this was a very grindy, slow game. Um, but at least it did the thing that it should do in the conditions that it's supposed to operate well in, which is certainly not the case of every character in the game. Which is this is probably why I had that candy splash, by the way, because I'm looking at this and I'm like, I just don't have enough things to add. Uh, hero, 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 hero. Sure. Animal. Gulliver to guarantee our lance a little, plus it's like big. barrel of monkeys as like a stopgap in case we don't get that kind of like support build going. Although I don't really like adding too many legendaries that like conflict with what you're doing. Ooh, they're just demise. Also, what on earth is this huntsman doing here, to be honest? But I guess we do have a Mr. Fox. Uther's not real. Let's not get too cute about that. Uh, I don't think we have any particular reason to think that we can make Maverick and Icewing work. A lot of the time, like even in the treasure uh, captains, you kind of one of them will, except for Dorothy, who really great at proccing this. I think most other captains, you kind of expect one of the treasures to come off of your board, and then the other one to happen through a quest or something else. And we don't have any way to enable that. Maybe we run Raggedy Ann instead of Key because we're just a summon short. Again, don't really like this character, but been trying to see if it does something in the right conditions again. Yeah, I'm okay with that. All right, see you in the next one.